All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. It's the brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. We have a lesson entitled "The Slow Dime is Better Than the Fast Nickel." It's a proverb. It's a wise saying, basically, and it speaks volumes. It's plain Jane, so to speak. The slow dime is something that you accumulate through a slow duration, but it's appreciated rather than the fast nickel. Why? Because in most cases, if somebody were to receive something fast paced, then one, they're not going to appreciate it. Because whatever you receive in a fast, uh, uh, um, in an instant, you don't actually go through the channels of suffering to apprehend or obtain it. So you don't see the preciousness behind whatever you've obtained, and then you already have a certain mindset that whatever, if you get something fast, then you can always replace it just as quick. You see. And in most cases, when people get certain things fast, like I said, they don't appreciate it. They spoil it. They do away with it. They may lose it, because it's no they don't have any type of consideration for the product that they actually receive. And the scriptures refer to this word and this knowledge as a talent. It's known as money, it's known as silver, it's known as gold, rubies, all kind of precious commodities in the scriptures. So this is kind of, people use this proverb or this allegory in the financial market, to basically speak volumes about a slow-paced lifestyle. Whenever you're trying to apprehend funds or build stock and wealth, to take your time with and be considerate of the money that you're making. And some things may not gradually increase off of a short burst. It takes time for things to gradually increase. Just like when you see the financial numbers, it might be slowly but surely, but it climbs to the top. And that it's the same thing here. The scriptures is a form of stock. It's a form of investment. The word invest means to put within your vesture, put within your bosom. There's knowledge you put within your bosom. And we're gonna go into some scriptures, of course, to further elaborate to the point, of just being patient, suffer, let the Most High do His wonderful work. Let Him work with you and work on you without struggling or getting wiggling, squirming, and getting impulsive. You have a precept?
I have one, but I also have like a quote, so to speak, on the saying.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "You've got to go for the slow dime." The sage observation applies to everything from the stock market to book publishing to any endeavor where the temptation for a fast nickel return will either disappoint or potentially lead to an unpleasant result.
Ooh.
Finding $1 or 10 or 20 is just a dream.
See, and he said just like with book publishing, and what was the
Stock market.
The stock market, and it referred to it as like a sage style proverb, and when you're dealing with even individuals that sell books, they're on their ventures or on their conquest to get the books published for people to actually be inspired by their works. That's a hard job, man.
Yeah.
Of the masses of people that writes, how can they define themselves and make it where their books stick out more than others? How can they actually give, how can they actually, I would say, push themselves out there, market themselves for their words to even be read, for the chapters of the book, or the first pages of the book to be even considered to be open to be read. They have to go to certain, a lot of free work is involved.
Yeah.
Libraries, they have schools. They have to talk to certain people that's local, that's dealing with book reading programs and things of that nature, and draw people to the inspiration of the work. Give them certain excerpts or certain points in the pages where it can be an eye catcher or a potential reader. and it takes, like I said, it's tedious. It's definitely tedious work, and it's constant.
Like Salaki.
Oh, you go ahead.
It's like being an intern. For you got your college degree. You just graduated, but you gotta work for free. But at the end of the day that you working for free is going to eventually pay off.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, and right now this is free work.
Mm-hmm.
Scriptures says what freely receive, freely give,
Mm-hmm.
and that same notion is applied even in the work of Yahweh Shema Shai, because we don't get tax returns according to this work. We don't get funded. We don't get sponsorships and promotions and all these things of the world according to this work. But we do believe in the Spirit. The more effort and the more time and consistency that we put towards this work, it's gonna all pay off. And it's not gonna be. And we're not looking to get some Benjamin Franklin's and some dead presidents. At the end of the day, we're looking to obtain that which is greater, the kingdom of heaven. So you got a precept?
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Okay.
This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the world to try them that dwell upon the earth."
Yep. So he said the word of the patience. And the word patience means to suffer. And just like when you go to a hospital, it's full of people that suffer. They're waiting in a long line. It's a duration of time that takes place before they're actually, called and brought to service. It's the same thing now. This is the word of the patience, and we know that we suffer. We go through our obstacles, we go through our hills and our hurdles, and you be wanting a fast nickel. Every brother can attest to wanting something fast. You want something quick. You want an easy way out. But this truth is there is no easy way out. It's known as what? The straight gate. And second, there's the 7th chapter, Matthew the 7th chapter. Which is the perdition of difficulty. So you have to go through those difficult straits, and it takes time. It's tedious. That's that slow that slow dime, right? That's that slow dime that we're all looking to get. And like I said, it requires hella patience. It requires an extreme amount of endurance. It requires faith, hope, belief. You have to be humble, because if you're over anxious, like even dealing in terms of which those are good. You see those different hip hop and recording movies and things of that nature. Some of those movies be actually pretty good, because you see how the individuals climb up. The Temptations or Ray. They show all kind of different aspects of individuals' lives, and how much it took, how hard of a grind. They went through certain management where management was effing them over. They didn't know the numbers. They were just young individuals with talent. They might have knew each other from school or from the streets, like the Temptations, and they end up coming together more and more. And then they had to go through hella struggles. Then they eventually might get a record deal. They gotta, bust their ass. And a lot of them start off with no money. They might have to catch the bus to go to the studio. They might be in school. After school, they have to work. Consistently, like I said. It might be somebody in the group that might be homeless, but they don't allow that to deter them from singing their asses off, performing their asses off, so they're gonna go out their way, and they're gonna even put that homeless thing, that's gonna be a thing of the past. That's not my focus. That's not my concern right now, even though that's a major issue. It's a major life issue, but the main thing is getting to that point, because when they good, they like, when we're good, we're all gonna be straight.
Yeah.
And they see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see, so we have to have that same. Scriptures refer to us as visionaries. We have to have that same vision of the light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter what you go through, you might be on the brink of homelessness. The scripture says that we're naked. We're basically without a shelter. We feel like some brothers be at low. Don't have a job and things of that nature, but we still have to publish this word through these lessons. We still have to hit the highways and byways. We still have to keep our spirits up for the assembly of the brethren, and even of the nation. You see?
That's right.
Some more?
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay, and I'm going to get this in Matthew. This is Matthew 25, and I'll start at 13. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
Mm-hmm.
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. Right. So this is an individual that had, a certain level of, like I said, a talent. He had a certain peculiar talent, and it was according to his ability, and it was up to him to go out and do the footwork. Which a lot of Jake doesn't like that aspect of the truth, doing the footwork, getting the hands dirty, getting your feet muddy, you know, which is dealing with what? The congregation, reproving, correcting, going out to the highways and byways, wasting your gas, wasting your time. It's not a waste of time, but you're spending your time, I would say. Spending your time, spending your gas, sacrificing your life in order to get this word out there, and the masses of the people you might push this word on, they pushing it off of them. So you have to deal with that aspect of suffering.
Yeah, if I could just say too, with anything that's worthy to be received, it's always a process. It's always a long, tedious process. But the more important things of life, it always it makes it that much better because you went through the entire process, man. You didn't break, you didn't try to cheat your way through. That fast nickel, man, is trying to cut corners, man.
Yep.
But in John the 10th chapter tells you that
that's it right there.
Any man that
climbeth up any other way.
Climbeth up any other way. Same as a thief and a robber.
Same as a goddamn thief. And which another good movie which I just thought about. Everybody's familiar with The Pursuit of Happiness. And The Pursuit of Happiness, really, Will Smith was above his time.
Yeah.
The product that he had, a lot of people wasn't jumping on top of it because they didn't see how it applied to today's time. Oh, and another a good book, a good read is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich goes into I think the individual who actually came up with the concept of aisle shopping, actually creating individuals to go through I would say, when you actually purchase and you go through the lanes, and then you have the bagging and the whole setup like that. He was speaking on it for brothers that actually read the book, and he actually went to his manager and he was like, "Yo, I got a good idea. We could do, instead of doing it this way I think it was like the conventional old school bagging style. He was like, "Yo, we could do it this way," and he was like, "It'll be that." But he always had some type of so-called clever, or sometimes I would say some type of idea. He was one of those idealistic. He always had some type of idea popping up. But he had that idea, and he threw it at his manager, and his manager was like, "Yo, get out of my face with that crap." You and your witty inventions. And he took that inspiration, and he became a multi-millionaire. In his time, and I'm pretty sure his manager that actually heard him dispose that type of idea onto them, he had great regret for not actually considering and actually taking the time to work with him and his idea and let it come to fruition. You see? And it's the same thing in today's time now. And dealing with the scriptures, you had Noah, you had men of the Bible that had the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah resting on them, and they knew what was to occur in future times, and they gave the warning through prophesying, through voicing out the word of the Lord unto the people, and most people wagged their hand until judgment came.
That's right.
So continuing on, it says, and likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. Right. So you had the ones that actually, seen the value of the Lord's service, and they went out, and did the work, so to speak. They didn't have any regrets. They went out 10 toes down, running straight momentum and acceleration, And you had the one dude who had, like you said, he had an alternative style of thinking. He was a thief and a robber. Man, look, I'm just gonna hide this in the earth.
Damn.
That's a nigga for you.
Yeah.
You know, that word nigger or nigger really more so. It goes into being selfish, man. Being extremely selfish. You know, when you're trying to hold back a talent that the Lord gave you. The Lord gave each and every one of us a talent, and it's not about hoarding it and keeping it to yourself. It's about flipping that nickel. You see? And that's where compound interest comes from. When you see the compound market, you put a certain amount of you invest a certain amount of money, you know, whether it's in your savings or depending on the type of investments that you put your funds towards. Gradually through time, you put $10,000 in here, year by year it accumulates, and then eventually it compounds. So it jumps. It jumps extremely. Compound interest. You see? And it's the same thing even in this truth. And when you first start, you start to see how it's a slow road. As it is written in Ecclesiastes, that the end of a thing is better than the beginning. The beginning of everything is hard. But as you get your feet wet, you get momentum behind you, you start to see how things start to work a lot more in your favor, so to speak. I mean, you go through your hell and things of that nature, but you start to gradually get more and more talented, as the scripture says, with the talents. After a long time, verse 19, after a long time the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 more talents. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And what did the Lord say? He that is faithful in little shall be faithful in much. And he that is unfaithful in little shall be unfaithful in much. You see, so we're speaking about that widow's mite, which is the little penny, or the slow dime. But that slow dime speaks volume, man. Jake just want, and this world really puts your mind in that mindset, to want to get it quick. Try to be a celebrity overnight. Try to get rich scheme. Swipe the scratch offs, things of that nature. Try to hit for $1 million. Just like the lottery. They say overall more people would be far more, I would say, richer not playing the lottery than even playing it, man.
Right.
You lose so much money trying to be rich. You could have just took that money and invested it
in something else.
And invested in something else that actually could appreciate, and you could have made a good deal of money. But what you're doing is you're following the course of the world, and you're losing money. And you're getting allured and attracted by $100 million Powerball. And let's say, for instance, you hit the Powerball or whatever, whatever reward that they actually have, $1 million, $10 million, $20 million. In most cases, they say most people spend the money out or die. They actually get killed, for making that money, because you have it's a certain shock. I forget the exact psychological term, but it's a certain reward shock. When you have a quick reward shock, that's an overwhelm. You see, because it's just boom, it hits you right in the chest. You wasn't really expecting to get $100 million. So when you scratching off, boom, $100 million is in your lap. You don't know how to allocate or really deal, because you don't have $100 million mindset. You don't know how to actually distribute. You don't know how to reinvest. You don't know how to take lows. You don't know how to actually let money, like I said, compound, or let money actually appreciate in its time. You don't know how to actually deal in terms of distribution and things of that nature. So in most cases, most people will get the money and they'll spend it all out.
They go broke.
And they go flat broke, you see? And they'll be in a worse situation than they initially was. They was better off being broke. And it's best to really climb up slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? Of course, in terms of finances, whatever. But and that's where people have a better mindset. Most people that climb up slowly but surely, They have a better mindset because they know how to plan. They know how to adjust. They know how to take their time. They're very patient. You see, and things gradually it slowly comes to them,
Oh,
and as it progressively comes to them little by little, they know how to deal. You see, you got what you
yeah,
want to say?
we not too long ago we did that lesson on those garage
Enterprises,
yeah,
yeah.
enterprises, man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what was it, Apple?
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Think
it was
forward.
Microsoft. Yeah, Ford, Microsoft. No, they all started in the garage, man. And they failed multiple times. But they trusted in the process.
They trusted in that
It's
process.
it's the same with the truth, man. You're gonna fall. The scriptures say a righteous man falls 7 times but gets back up again, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gotta trust the process.
Got to trust the process of the Lord. All right. It says, and so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will also make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant.
Mm-hmm.
Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping wherein thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant,
Mm-hmm.
thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him that which have 10 talents. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But for him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're that type of servant, which that's the worst servant you could be,
Unprofitable.
Unprofitable, and he cussed him out. He called him a sloth.
Uh-huh.
That's a disrespect. You just a lazy ass.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're one of those individuals, you're an enemy of the Lord.
That's
The
right.
Lord actually had good words to say unto those other men that actually grinded and they actually put the work in, and he gave them cities. For the little bit of work, it might have been a massive amount of work in their eyes, which we feel like we're working. This is a work, but this is little work to the Lord. You just going to the highways and byways. You standing on the streets. The scripture says what the foolishness of preaching.
Mm-hmm.
You preaching this word in foolishness with your garbs and things of that nature. People looking at you like a fool for Yahweh Shai's sake, but at the end of the day, what you're going to receive as a reward is that much greater.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
We don't know everything that entails. We know partially, 10%, if that,
Mm-hmm.
of what entails the kingdom of heaven. We read about the planets, man. We don't even own this building that we living in, man.
Right.
How much more owning the actual planet,
Mm-hmm.
a state? Just think about even owning a state itself. That's wealth.
As well.
That's wealth. Jay-Z don't even own a state. Jay-Z doesn't even own a city. And what? He's known as a billionaire in these times. Everybody looks up. Jay-Z is like one of the top Negroes in today's time. Everybody looks at him as the beacon of
Leadership.
yeah, the beacon of leadership, or really the apex of all African Americans. And how much does he? He doesn't even own like I said, a city. He doesn't even own. He might own a couple little buildings here and there, but he doesn't own the lion portion, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord said he's going to give it all to us, and we're going to be joint heirs. but it's just always about taking the little bit that the Lord gave us. He gave us a little bit to see how we would react. Why would the Lord give us all these immense amount of riches and treasures and goods and all these different things if we can't even deal with the small things that he gives us? Because he has gave us. He gave us certain things. Even this breath that we're speaking.
That's right.
To even speak the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. The scripture says that faith is a gift. He gave us those things.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take those things and show, like, look, I appreciate what you gave me. The little bit that you gave me, I still appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jake, man, I want more, man.
Yeah, greedy.
Yeah, just greed. and the Lord hates that. That's why he speaks about Jake that's over anxious, Jake that's slothful, Jake that's impatient. It tells you that in Sirach, the second chapter, about woe unto the ones that lack patience.
Yeah.
You know, which I'll probably get that too.
Yeah.
Sirach 2 and
15.
Yeah, around there. Start at 12. 14. Yeah. Sirach 2 and 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what? And you got it.
Patience again, man. That brother was going into the long suffering, man. You know, it says, woe unto you that have lost patience, man. Why? Because you wasn't being profitable to the Lord, man. You know, you weren't doing the things that were commanded of you. You know, like we was going into before. You wanted to cut corners, you know, and did it for all, you know, and did it for the glory for your name, or any other deceitful thing which you know, you were going about, but it wasn't profitable, you know, to the truth or to the to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Basically, destruction on to you that aren't willing to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Right, and when the Lord is going to visit you, he's going to destroy you. That's why the scripture says, shall not the Lord find faith upon earth? When the Lord said he's going to come, he said, shall he not find so doing? Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of people that did, past tense, did the work of the Lord, and presently they've forsaken him. They might have gotten to Islam. You know, they might just do, in the house lessons here and there.
Going back into the world.
Fully going back into the world. They don't believe the name of Yahweh Shah. They don't believe in the prophecies to come to pass. And they basically just gave up on the will of the Heavenly Father. And the Lord knew men were going to do so. You know, that's why this is a book of what? Faith. And it's written in stone, so to speak. You know, or it was originally written in stone, but it was written so that you could just purely believe on it. Yeah. That's why it says these words are what? Faithful and true. Mm-hmm. And it's all about how much you gravitate and how much you believe in these words for them to actually come to pass. And we see the prophecies coming to pass, man. You know? That's why you just have to take this talent, take this little bit that the Lord gave you, which is a good deal, you know, and because the Lord didn't have to give us anything. Mm-hmm. You know, according to our ability, and flip, work, trade, exchange. You know? You got that got some?
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Okay.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse I'll start at verse 6. It says, there is also another thing, a city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Mm-hmm. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. You know, and this is speaking, you know, of the kingdom of heaven, which in order to make it, you know, to the kingdom of heaven, you know, you have to stay on that straight, narrow gate, man. You know, you can't wither to the left or to the right. Mm-hmm. You know, and with doing that, you have to have a steady pace, man. You can't rush things, man. Mm-hmm. You know, whenever you ever, you know, just, you know, been late for work, you know, you woke up late, it's always something that you're going to forget. Why? Because you're rushing. You know, you're not thinking clearly. You know, but if you slow down, you know, and get all your thoughts together, then it'll be easier. It may take longer, you know, but you got to have that patience, man.
It's about being efficient, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that even that mentality, like you said, you're always rushful, you're always anxious, so you're trying to that anxiety spirit. Mm-hmm. You know, that's really a demon.
God.
You know. Your emotions is all uptick. You know, you don't have your scruples together. You move it like a woman, and you see a lot of women be like that, man. Just trying to rush, and they, like you said, very forgetful and things of that nature. That's not a good mentality, man. We have to, especially even in the service of the Lord, you have to always have your head on a swivel, and you have to move effectively and accordingly. Some more on that.
I'll finish it off. Verse 8, it says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
And that shows you how congested, so to speak, the path is. How tight fit you have to be in order to slip through. And the Lord has the scanners on that path. He has it where nobody will be able to just slide in. Because Jake sometimes just want to slide in.
Yeah.
Like I said, the window. Like, man, look, that path that they going through, that shit hard.
God.
I could tell it takes time. I'm not gonna be able to pursue my rap career. I'm not gonna be able to pursue the bag while doing this. So let me just try to work on the latter end.
Yeah.
Or let me just be on the comment board.
Drake wanted the easy way out, but the Lord, he didn't set it up for you to take the easy route, man.
Yeah, you play video games, and you can choose your option. You can't choose the option here. It starts off on very difficult, man. The difficulty is very hard, or really expert.
God.
You start off as an amateur, but this is for experts, man. The Lord, He made it hard, and He made it specifically. He tailored the path for you to go through it. And you can't lighten the load. The Lord puts what He finds fit upon your plate. All right, whether He wants to put more on your plate or put less on your plate. Right. It's all about for you to dish it out and you to deal with it accordingly, man. Right. So is there more on that?
A lot. That was it on that.
Okay, and I'll close with this scripture in Ecclesiastes.
Want me to read it for you?
Yeah, you got it.
God, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 in verse 11. It says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift.
And this is King Solomon, a man that was immensely wise, and he's seen people that fell. He's seen kingdoms fall. He's seen great men fall to their demise, He's seen wise men lifted up. He's seen everything even in his arena of a king. And this is through his observations what he has concluded. He said what?
It says, and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift.
The race is not to the swift. So you swift jakes, you think everything is about being fast and quick and in a hurry. That's not the right mentality. It's good to be efficient and you move. And if you could actually deal with, if you're a momentum-based brother and you move effectively and efficiently, that's great, But at the end of the day, that's not what the race is about. Because some men run fast just to say, tell other people to catch up to their pace. Everybody doesn't run the same pace, man. You might be one brother might be fast, another brother might be slower. But that's just the balance of the Yahweh Shema Shah. And sometimes the brother that's slower, he's taking more time because he's being way more careful.
Yeah,
being way more precautious.
That's right. And
if you move fast, in a lot of cases, you run into something that you wasn't expecting because you're running full throttle. You got your you hitting the gas 150 miles per hour, right when somebody speeds, switch lanes, or somebody actually comes right in front of you. You can't react quickly, man, quick enough, because you're already going too goddamn fast and you can't maneuver out. But if you was taking your time, you'd be able to slow down. You'd be able to move and maneuver a lot better. You see?
That's right. Being aware.
It
says, nor the battle to the strong. Neither yet bread to the wise.
But that's the mindset of the world. You always think, all right, the strongest is going to be the one that's going to win. You see a boxing match, you look at, in most cases, if you see the body on two individuals, you're going to think the bigger one is going to win. Most people judge things off of physique. They judge things from a carnal aspect, but that science doesn't even matter in the eyes of Yahweh Shema.
It doesn't. That's why we always so to speak root for the underdogs. Because we said all the time, the man of the Lord, them being so humble and meek, and being turned to the greatest men, with joint heirs with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. that's gonna be the greatest underdog story of all time.
It is. That's right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it says, "Nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding,
Mm-hmm.
nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all."
Yeah, but time and chance happening to them all. You see? So, like I said, just driving a point home, the slow dime is better than the fast nickel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't try to be too impulsive, too fast paced. Take your time. Let the Most High, you know, deal how He deals.
That's right.
Suffer what you got to suffer. The hell that you catching, you know, maybe this year, so to speak, it might be another volume of hell, but it might not be the same thing. So don't try to jump out. Let the Lord, you know, work with you. Because Lord willing, we out of this kingdom soon. You know, and everything that we go through, we appreciate everything that the Lord actually put upon us. You know, and we understand everything that the Lord put upon us.
That's right.
You see, so we want to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem,
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom Akim.
Shalom.